At the beginning of the story, we see a fisherman named Colin who, like every day, had come to the sea to catch fish. But today when he took out his net, a girl was trapped in it. Colin feels that maybe the girl is still alive, so he starts giving her CPR, due to which she regains consciousness. As soon as she regains consciousness, the girl becomes very nervous and does not believe that she is still alive. Then Colin asks her, "What is your name? What is, and how did you fall into my trap?" But she didn't remember anything. Colin says that I will take you to the doctor, but on hearing this, she says that if you try to take me to anyone, then I will jump into the sea. I will give my life. Colin says, "Are you crazy? Is it necessary for you to go to the doctor now?" But she says, "No, I don't want to meet anyone." Now the girl had lost her memory, so Colin says to her that you are my mother. Let's go home there, you. No one can see Colin's mother was dead, so he tells her that you can stay here until you get your memory back. Colin then goes to his ex-wife's house to pick up their daughter. His wife divorced him, and now she was living with her boyfriend, but Colin's daughter Annie had kidney disease, due to which she could not walk properly. Today Colin takes her to the hospital. While waiting for the doctor, Colin tells Annie a story, narrates in which he explains that there was once a beautiful girl caught in a fisherman's net, to which Annie asks if the girl was a mermaid. Colin tells her no. Then Annie asks if she was the Silky that sings on Seal Rock. Colin asks, "Who told you this?" She says that the teacher said that the Selkie sheds its seal coat after coming out of the sea, and then buries it in the ground and can live on land for a whole year. Then the doctor comes, and she takes Annie with her, and gives her an electric wheelchair so that Annie can get around easily. After this, Colin leaves her at his mother's house and starts going back. But then his wife starts abusing him for coming late. But Colin doesn't pay much attention to his wife Mora's words, and ignores her, and walks away because it was Mora's drama to cry. After this, he goes back to the sea to go fishing when he sees the mysterious girl, which he took from the sea yesterday. Looking at her, he says, "I thought that I had pulled you out of the sea in my dream, but you are in reality." The girl was wearing Colin's mother's clothes, due to which Colin was finding her strange to look at. Then, when he starts taking the boat for fishing and she asks if I can go with you, Colin says that he is having bad luck and it is considered unlucky to have girls on a fishing boat. Then, he thinks he should probably take it with him. She turns out to be good luck to him. The two go out to sea on Colin's boat to go fishing. Colin asks her if she remembers her name. She says, "You can call me Ondine." Colin asks the meaning of her name, so she tells that Ondine means daughter of the sea. After this, Colin starts catching fishes, and Ondine starts singing a song. But today when Colin takes out his net, there were many fishes stuck in it. After this, he says to Ondine that you have turned out to be good luck to me. Colin understands that this happened because of Ondine singing the song, so he asks her to sing the song again. Ondine sings the song and her voice, and good to Colin today. Catches a lot of fish. Then when Colin goes to the market to sell those fish, he asks Ondine to go with him, but Ondine says, "No, I don't want anyone else but you." After this, Colin goes to the market and sells those fishes. After this, he goes to a clothes shop, and from there, he buys a dress for online, but he was shy to buy underwear, so he steals the underwear. Then Colin goes to pick up his daughter Annie from her school. On the way home, Annie asks him to continue the story about yesterday's hospital. Colin tells that the girl who was caught in the fisherman's net used to sing, and after hearing her voice, the fishes used to get attracted towards her and get trapped in the fisherman's net. Anne says that then she must be Silky. But where did she hear this story from? Colin tells that this story is his own. After this, he takes her home. He leaves and goes back to his mother's house and gifts Ondine the stolen underwear and clothes. Ondine is very happy to see his gift and kisses him on the cheek. Then Colin asks her, how long will she stay here? She asks, should I leave? Colin says no. I want you to stay here forever. Meanwhile, Annie starts believing her dad's story. So she goes to the library and reads books about Sai. Now we are shown the scene of the next day. Today, when Ondine was bathing in the river, Annie sees her and immediately understands that this is the same girl who was trapped in her dad's fishing net. She asks, "Are you the same Silky, whom my dad caught me? Do you have magical powers? Can you heal me?" Ondine tries to explain to her that I am not Silky, but Annie does not believe her and says, "I know everything about you." After listening to her words, she pretends as if she is really Silky. Then Annie asks her, "Will you teach me swimming?" Ondine says, "Why not? It will make you feel good." Firni asks one more question. "Is your seal coat? Where have you taken it off and hidden it somewhere to live on the ground? I know that you have come here only after acquitting yourself of your seal coat, and now you can live here on the ground for 7 years, and maybe here you will be, on getting the desired love." Ondine says goodbye to Annie and says that we will meet again. Then when Annie was going home, some children make fun of her and leave her wheelchair in the water. Annie does not say anything to them and goes straight. She goes home to her home. Mora had a boyfriend, and Annie was very afraid of him. After this, Colin is going fishing, so he asks Ondine to go with him. She agrees but says that there should be no one else there except you. Colin also says that yes, it will happen. But when they go to the sea, Colin starts getting a little attracted towards Ondine because she was very beautiful, but he knew how to control himself. Then a coast guard passed by their boat. A boat passes, and Ondine hides after seeing it. Then some officers come to search the boat, but those officers find Ondine and ask Colin, "Why have you kept this girl hidden here?" Colin says that, "This is my lover, and there is nothing illegal in it." He asks Ondine if he is telling the truth, and she says yes. Hearing this, the officer leaves from there, but after the officer leaves, he starts talking to Ondine. Everyone had started to know about it. Now there is no point in staying hidden online. After this, Colin and Annie go to the shop to buy clothes. Here also, Annie was only talking about Selkie and where he lives. On the other hand, Ondine was so beautiful that everyone was staring at her. Meanwhile, we see a stranger who was looking for something. In the next scene, Annie says to Ondine that, "I also want to swim like you." Ondine starts teaching her how to swim, and then she finds a bag in the water, which she had been searching for many days. Nee asks if this is your seal court. She says yes. Anne says that it has to be buried quickly in the ground. Only then you can. You can stay here for 7 years. After which both of them take that bag somewhere near the riverbank and bury it there. Annie was taking all these things like a game. Ondine tells her that this is our secret. You can keep it. Don't share with anyone, Annie. She also agrees, while on the other hand, when Colin goes to Mora to pick up Annie, he finds out that she has already left. Then Mora asks him, "How is your water baby now?" She also wants to know about Ondine. Then we find out that the stranger we saw is Ondine's husband, and he is looking for her. Then when Annie and Colin and Ondine are on the boat, Annie questions him about who every Selkie has a husband. It happens. But where is yours? On this, Ondine says that I do not have any husband. Then the scene comes to a competition where all the people of the town come to have fun. Mora and her boyfriend also came there. Both of them were enjoying a lot. Ondine's husband was also there, who had come to search for her. Here, Annie jumps into the sea to bring out Ondine's reality, whether she is actually Silky or not. After which, Ondine also jumps into the water. And somehow she saves her. But Annie's condition had worsened, so when Colin brings her home, Mora is very angry. Mora also asks how all this happened to Annie. Colin tells her that she had fallen into the water while catching a duck. Coming home, Colin tells Ondine that he used to drink a lot of alcohol earlier, and one day I reached home in this condition, and I saw Annie lying unconscious on the ground, and her mother was so drunk. I was worried that he was not concerned about Annie. I somehow took my daughter to the hospital and saved her life. But from that day onwards, I stopped drinking. But even after all this, he could not get the custody of Annie. Because he is a simple fisherman, Ondine feels very bad after hearing his words. Here, Ondine and Colin become close. Then Ondine's husband searches for her and reaches Colin to ask him about Ondine. Ondine's husband comes to the same place where Ondine lives, but she hides after seeing him. Then when Colin comes back home, he starts searching for her for some time. After he finds her sitting alone in the dark, Colin asks her why are she sitting here like this. She tells that her husband came here looking for her and he is a very bad person. Colin says if you have any wish. If you want to ask, what do you ask for?
Ondine replies, I want Annie. To other hand, Mora and her boyfriend were driving drunk when their car meets with Ondine's husband's car, in which Mora's boyfriend dies and Annie is also injured. They quickly reach the accident site and take her to the hospital. Annie's health begins to deteriorate and she soon needs a donor. Luckily, Mora's boyfriend's kidney is a match for Annie. So his kidney is transplanted to Annie. On the other hand, Ondine's husband comes to take her and says, come with me, we are not from here, but Ondine refuses him and goes away from there. In the next scene we watch the funeral of Mora's boyfriend. Mora was very sad and now she could not even walk, that is why she asks Colin to take care of Annie from now on and keep her with him, but one of her conditions was that Colin send Ondine back to where she came from. Hearing this, Colin is unable to decide what to do next. Then Mora and Colin drink together for the last time and Colin arrives on the ship in an intoxicated state. He tells Ondine that I am taking you back to where you came from. You are a water fairy. She tries to convince him that nothing is as he thinks, but she forcefully takes him to an island and leaves him there. Later, Colin brings Annie to his house. Annie asks him about Ondine and Colin says that she has gone back to where she came from. Then when Annie changes the TV channel, if it is happening, then Colin hears the same song that Ondine used to sing, which convinces him that Ondine is not a mermaid, so he goes to the same island to bring her back. After searching for some time, he finds Ondine and she forgives him. Asks because he left her alone. When they are going back home, Colin asks Ondine who she really is. Ondine explains that I am a prisoner and some time ago at the request of her husband I was smuggling drugs with him, but when the police arrived, my husband asked me to jump into the sea. I fainted while swimming and thought I was going to die. Then you saved me. When they reach home, let's see that Ondine's husband has come to collect the same drug bag. Ondine tells her the hidden place of the bag, but the bag is not found there because Annie had already hidden it somewhere else. Ondine asks her to tell the exact place, but Annie refuses. Says if I give you your seal coat you will go away, but then she tells, after which everyone goes to the place where the bag was hidden and then Ondine pushes her husband into the water. He did not know how to swim and he drowned. After this the police come and take away the dead body of Ondine's husband, and also Ondine is taken into custody because she was not a citizen of that country. Colin wanted to marry her, so he marries her, and now she also became a citizen of this country. With this story has a happy ending here. Thank you for watching.